My own mother looked me dead in the eye over the phone 3 days before Christmas and said the words that shattered everything. Don't come home. Avery, you're not welcome at the house anymore. You'll ruin Christmas for everyone. Her voice was ice cold, final, like she was crossing my name off a guest list she never wanted me on in the first place. I could hear the holiday music faintly in the background, laughter, clinking glasses, the crackle of their perfect Lake Forest fireplace. Well, she calmly explained that my negative energy would spoil the mood for Ethan, the clients, the family legacy. So on Christmas Eve, I sat alone in my cramped Logan Square walk-up, the radiator clanking, the smell of someone else's takeout drifting under the door, while 2 hours north my entire bloodline raised toasts in our stone mansion, without once wondering if I was breathing. Then New Year's Eve hit. At 11:58 p.m., my phone exploded with Ethan's name. His voice wasn't just shaking, it was breaking. Raw panic and rage twisted together. Avery, what the fuck did you do? Dad's collapsed. They're rushing him to the ER. Mom's screaming, throwing things. The whole internet is on fire with your name. What the hell did you do to us? The thing that made him sound like he was drowning? My company, EchoPulse AI, had just gone public at the stroke of midnight with a staggering $2.3 billion valuation, making me 29-year-old Avery Quinn one of the youngest female tech billionaires alive. But the money was nothing compared to the real bomb. The Forbes cover story that dropped at the exact same second, packed with 3 years of damning emails, time-stamped patents, secret voice recordings, and notarized statements that laid bare how my golden boy brother had tried to steal my entire life's work and sell it as his own to keep Quint, the family empire, from sinking. Before I drag you any deeper into this betrayal, thank you so much for being here. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like button and subscribe if you genuinely enjoy the content. Alright, now let me tell you what really went down. 3 years ago, I was still the invisible Quinn sibling. We were old Chicago money-quined, the medical device company my grandfather built from nothing. The Lake Forest mansion with the iron gates and the private dock on the lake. The unwritten rule that sons inherit empires while daughters decorate them. Ethan was the heir apparent, 5 years older, effortlessly magnetic, the guy who could charm a boardroom into signing checks before they finish their coffee. Custom suits, squash at the club, dad's pride on full display. Me? I lived in code and data, Northwestern undergrad and master's in AI, top of my class. Research that made professors whisper about breakthroughs. My parents sent flowers to my graduation. They flew private to Ethan's MBA. When I started building EchoPulse in my Logan Square apartment, it wasn't just Coda, there was a revolution. An AI that could read medical scans MR is CTS, X-rays and spot cancers, strokes, rare neurological diseases months or even years earlier than human eyes ever could. We named it EchoPulse for the way it sent targeted signals through massive data sets and echoed back hidden patterns with terrifying accuracy. My 2 co-founders and I were weeks from first clinical pilots. Term sheets were landing in my inbox. The future felt real. Then Mom called. Avery, we need to talk about your brother. That tone, she only used it when the family throne was wobbling. QuinnMed is bleeding cash this quarter. Ethan's carrying the weight of 3 generations. The family needs you right now. I told her my startup was at its most fragile point. She cut me off. Sweetheart, startups are adorable little experiments. You have a real legacy. QuinnMed has been saving lives for 60 years. Ethan needs to modernize our devices with AI. You're good with that stuff. Help him. Translation. My work was a cute distraction. His was sacred. I'd learned the hard way in Northwestern. Never show your full hand without protection. So before I said yes to anything, I met my lawyer, Sarah Chun, at a corner table in a Logan Square cafe. Over burnt latte, she walked me through the patent filing. Lock this down today, she said, pushing the documents toward me. Every commit, Every draft, every breakthrough, time-stamped and yours. If anyone tries to claim it later, this trail will end them. I filed on April 12th, 2022. Ironclad, mine. Then I went to help Ethan. I drove up the North Shore, walked into QuinnMed's gleaming headquarters. Ethan's office had lake views and framed photos of him shaking hands with senators. He hugged me like we were tight. We weren't. This is a game changer, Avenue. Thank you. The board's on my neck. Walk me through it. I gave him the surface level stuff, how the AI could layer onto their hardware. Broad concepts only, not the heart of the algorithm. Never that. He took furious notes, grinning. Investors are going to eat this up. 2 weeks later, I was in a pitch meeting I hadn't been invited to. Mahogany table, skyline view. The venture guys from Chicago and New York. Ethan at the head, clicking through slides full of my terminology. Pulse echo mapping, anomaly threading loops, my phrases, my framework. An investor nodded toward me. Who's she? Ethan smiled smoothly. My sister Avery. She's been helping with some of the technical background. Helping. Like I'd handed him a PowerPoint template. Afterward, he slid an NDA across his desk. Standard protection for the company. You understand? I skimmed it. Covered QuinnMed proprietary info. This protects me too, right? Absolutely, he said, all charm. Family looks out for family. I signed because I still wanted to believe we were family. That NDA I signed, it became the rope they tried to hang me with. June 2024. Ethan called me back to the office. Emergency tone. I drove up on a rainy Tuesday, windshield wipers slapping the whole way. He was pacing when I walked in, sleeves rolled up, looking like he hadn't slept in days. We need the full algorithm, Avery. The real thing. Investors are pulling out. This could save QuinnBP, save everything Grandpa built. I felt the air leave the room. That's not QuinnMed work. That's EchoPulse. My company. My patent. My code. He laughed short. Mean. You consulted for us. You signed the NDA. Anything you touched while working with us belongs to the company. That's black and white, Avenue. That's not how NDAs work, and you know it. His jaw tightened. Don't play lawyer with me. I'm trying to keep this family from losing everything. Don't you give a damn about that? The door opened before I could answer. Mom stepped in, coat still on, raindrops clinging to the shoulders like she'd rushed straight from the car. Avery, she said, voice low and dangerous. Your brother is right. You signed an agreement. You have a legal and moral obligation. I looked from one to the other. The two people who were supposed to protect me were now cornering me like I was the enemy. I kept my hands visible on the table so they wouldn't see them shaking. In my coat pocket, the voice memo app was already running. I'd started recording every call, every meeting after that first pitch. Illinois might be two-party consent for in-person conversations, but I'd learned to document everything anyway. Screenshots, emails, notes. Evidence doesn't care about consent when it's your survival. No, I said, I'm not handing over 3 years from their life so you can slap the QuinnMed logo on it and pretend. Ethan invented it. Ethan's face flushed dark red. Careful. You don't want to make this ugly. Mom stepped closer. Don't threaten your sister, Ethan. Avery, think about what you're doing. A family doesn't sue family. Give us the algorithm and we can all move forward. I met her eyes. You've spent my whole life telling me I don't fit, that my work isn't real, that I make people uncomfortable. And now you want me to hand over the one thing I built that proves I'm more than your disappointment? Silence. Thick. Heavy. I stood up. I'm done being erased. I walked out. The door clicked shut behind me like a gunshot. After that, the invitation stopped completely. No more group texts. No more Sunday at 6. Emails from Mom's assistant. I watched Ethan's Instagram stories. Instead, Christmas lights strewn across the mansion. Family photos by the tree, everyone smiling. No empty space where I should have been. My name didn't appear once. My Northwestern friend Priya pulled me aside at a cafe one afternoon. You look like you haven't slept in weeks. What's going on with your family? I stared into my coffee. They uninvited me from my own life. She reached across the table and squeezed my hand. You're not invisible, Avery. Not to us. Not to the world that's about to see what you built. That stuck with me. December 28th, Mom called again. No greeting. About New Year's Eve, Ethan was hosting investors, hospital execs, people who matter. It's a business night, not family. I'm asking you to stay away. For everyone's sake. You're telling me not to come to my own home on New Year's? I'm telling you not to create tension. Ethan's career was hanging by a thread. If you show up and say something. She trailed off, but the threat was clear. Don't worry, I won't be there. I hung up and stared at my empty apartment. The fake tree blinked sadly in the corner. My calendar for December 31st was blank. No parties, no dinners, no family. I could have called friends, but everyone had plans. Normal people with normal lives. Instead, I opened my laptop. The Forbes interview had been scheduled for weeks. The journalist had spent a month verifying every document, patent filings. Email chains. The JUNE2024. Recording my lawyer had confirmed the circumstances made it admissible. Sworn statements from my grad school advisor, Dr. Priya Patel. Yes. Same Priya, she'd watched me build the algorithm from day one. And a full legal breakdown from Sarah. John showing the NDA never covered my independent work. The writer asked one last question before we wrapped. Are you ready for the fallout? I thought about Christmas alone. About being told I make people uncomfortable. About the brother who called my life's work helping. About the mother who chose peace over her daughter. I'm ready for the truth, I said. The IPO was set to go live at midnight? On January 1st, 2025, the Forbes piece was queued to drop. At the same second, TechCrunch had a companion article ready. EchoPulse would ring the opening bell digitally from Chicago. All I had to do was let it happen. December 31st, 11 p.m., I sat on my couch in the dark. Phone in one hand, laptop open. Ethan's Instagram story was live mansion glowing. String quartet, champagne flutes, Mom in a silver gown laughing with board members, Dad shaking hands. Ethan at the center, toasting like he owned the night. No one looked around for me. No one wondered. Outside my window, neighbors shot off bottle rockets. Couples kissed on balcony. I refreshed Forbes at 11:59. The countdown started on TV 10. 9, 8. I hit refresh again. The article went live. Headline: EchoPulse AI goes public at $2.30. Billion valuation founder Avery Quinn reveals. Family betrayal. Brother attempted IP theft. Screenshots, timestamps, the recording transcribed. Dr. Patel's statement. I can confirm Avery developed this technology independently during her graduate research and private work. Any claim otherwise is false. Sarah's legal analysis, the NDA pertains solely to QuinnMed's existing IP. It does not and cannot extend to Ms. Quinn's independent inventions. Twitter lit up. Hashtag EchoPulse trending. Notifications flooded in journalists. Old classmates, women in tech I'd never met. My phone stayed silent for 60 seconds. Then it rang. Ethan. Darling Ethan AM. I answered. Avery. His voice was wrecked. Behind him, chaos. Shouting, glass breaking. Mom's voice shrill in the background. What did you do? Dad just saw the headline and collapsed. They're taking him to Northwestern Memorial. Mom's screaming that you've destroyed us. What the hell did you do? I kept my voice steady. I told the truth. You put private conversations in Forbes. You recorded us. This is defamation. This is. I documented what happened. The patent was filed April 2022. Your first investor pitch using my framework was July. The timestamps don't lie. Those are coincidences. People work on similar, not with identical architecture. Not with my exact terminology. Not after you demanded the full algorithm and threatened me when I said no. Mom grabbed the phone. You've humiliated this family. Investors are already calling Ethan. They're pulling out. The board's in emergency session. Your father might not survive this stress. Do you understand what you've done? I understand what you did, I said quietly. You chose him. You always chose him, even when it meant erasing me. You're jealous. You've always been jealous of Ethan. No, Mom, I was just tired of disappearing. Silence. Then, you're no longer welcome in this family. The line went dead. I sat there, phone in my lap, fireworks exploding outside. My hands were shaking, but for the first time in years, my chest felt lighter. The next morning, the fallout hit like a tsunami. QuinnMed stock tanked 22% in pre-market. Boston Medical canceled a $12 million contract. Employees posted on Glassdoor, leadership in crisis. Not sure if we'll have jobs next week. Then the board released a statement. QuinnMed has suspended CEO Ethan Quinn pending independent investigation into recent IP allegations. We take these matters seriously and are committed to full transparency. Ethan suspended. Not fired yet, but removed. My inbox exploded. Support from women in tech. Hate from family friends. A distant aunt texted, "How could you do this to your mother?" I didn't answer. January 3rd, Dad called. His voice sounded 20 years older. "Avery, can we talk?" I waited. "I knew," he said finally. "I suspected the tech wasn't Ethan's. I saw the slides, heard the phrases. I said nothing because your mother was so proud of him. The company was struggling. I told myself you'd be okay, that you were strong enough to handle it." I closed my eyes. Tears burned. "I wasn't okay, Dad. I know, I was a coward. I let them push you out. I let your mother uninvite you from Christmas, from New Year's. I failed you. And I'm so sorry. I know, but I needed you to hear it. I'm proud of you, Avery. I should have said it sooner. I should have stood up for you." I let the tears fall. "I don't know if I can forgive you yet." "That's fair. When you're ready." "I'm here. I'll do better." We hung up. Something cracked open inside me, not healed, but breathing. By mid-January, new evidence surfaced. A VC partner from Chicago emailed me a pitch deck. Ethan had sent them in 2020, 3 identical to my patent. QuinnMed logo slapped on top. He'd tried to sell my work to outsiders. I forwarded it to Forbes. The follow-up article dropped. New evidence. QuinnMed CEO attempted to sell sister's IP to third parties. The internet erupted again. Ethan posted a public apology on LinkedIn 2 weeks later. Short, raw. "I owe my sister Avery Quinn a full apology. I attempted to claim credit for her work. I pressured her to hand it over. I was wrong. She built EchoPulse independently. I violated her trust. I'm stepping down from QuinnMed to allow a full investigation. Avery, you deserved better." "I'm sorry." Comments were split. Respect for owning it, rage that it took public humiliation. I read it in a coffee shop on Milwaukee Avenue. Didn't feel triumphant, just tired, but free. February came. I accepted a keynote at the Chicago Women in Tech Summit. 1,200 women in the audience. I walked on stage in a simple black dress, heart hammering. I told them everything, not the revenge version, the real one. How I'd spent years shrinking to make others comfortable. How I almost let my family take the one thing that proved I existed. How I chose integrity over peace. How documentation saved me patents, recordings, witnesses. I ended with this. To every woman who's been told she's too much, too quiet, too intense, too ambitious, your work matters. Your voice matters. No one, not even family, gets to erase you. Protect your ideas. Set boundaries. Choose yourself. Because when you do, you don't just survive. You rise. The room stood. Applause like thunder. Afterward, messages poured in. A software engineer. I reported my boss for stealing my code today because of you. A grad student. My parents wanted me in nursing. I'm switching to AI. You showed me it's okay. I cried in my Uber home. Not from pain, from being seen. Spring 2025. EchoPulse signed a $45 million deal with Rush University Medical Center. Valuation climbed past $3.8 billion. I moved to a bigger place in Wicker Park still, Chicago. Still home, but with windows that let in light. I hung my framed patent on the wall. Next to it, a photo from the summit, me on stage. Mid-sentence, 1,200 women on their feet. No family photos. Not yet. Maybe someday with Dad. He's been texting. Small things. Thinking of you. Proud of the Rush deal. He's coming to visit next month. Just us. No pressure. Ethan. Silence. I don't expect anything. Mom? Nothing. And I'm okay with that because I stepped onto the balcony, city lights glittering below, and thought about that girl in Logan Square 2 years ago, alone, erased, terrified. She's gone. I'm here, and I'm not shrinking anymore. So if you're still listening, thank you. If you've ever had to choose between keeping the peace and keeping yourself, drop a comment. Tell me where you are, what time it is, what you chose. I read every single one. And if this story gave you even a little courage to protect your own work, your own voice, your own life, hit like, subscribe, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Resources are in the description. IP protection basics, boundary setting guides, women in tech communities. You don't owe anyone your disappearance. You owe yourself your existence. Fully, loudly, unapologetically. This is my story. What's yours? See you in the next one.